Ready?
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, 2 goals, 2 halves. What's like scoring? We'll do that one first.
All right. We'll go straight through, and then Kay will have some questions as well.
Just one.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, Kana. So first brace. Whoa. Sorry. You both had a brace tonight, so my brain was just like.
Don't copy my answers. Get away.
Okay. All right. That's all right. Ready this time?
Yeah.
All right, Kendall. First brace for the Ivy. You scored in both halves. Talk about what it's like to score in City, especially in front of 4,500 fans.
Yeah, I think it's super fun, obviously, to score here compared to any other venue. You have the fans supporting you. Score in both halves just shows how consistent our attack is, and I think it's super fun just to get everybody going and kind of get the goals up on the board that we've been looking for, especially this whole season.
And then talk about the attack as a whole and what you guys were talking about tonight to keep the energy, keep the momentum, especially as the score went up a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think we try to stay present. I know we have a bigger game on Saturday, but I know we wanted to just kind of break down their unique press as they had numbers down, the super high line. So we just talked about moving in and out of tight spaces, which we do a lot in practice. So I think it kind of translated toward when we got into it. But definitely some things we could work on for sure. But we definitely got the goals that we needed to just get this game and move on to the next. So we're looking forward to the next game.
So the team obviously rotates a lot. So how does your game change if you're playing with 2 other people up top or different players in the midfield?
I think it helps that we practice 3 times a week. I think we get a lot of rotations and minutes at practice with a lot of different people. And I think just communication, I think that's something we've gotten a lot better at towards the season as it goes on. So just talking through things, what sort of players do, sort of things. So I think that's super helpful to just communicate and kind of get to know the tendencies of other players.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
4,500 fans in City.
Oh my gosh, it was the best. I mean, I wish I could have scored earlier in the season in front of the fans. Just everyone is so supportive, and I always just feel the energy anytime the ball's just at my feet. So I was glad to be able to come back of the net and be back in Richmond in front of the fans.
And what's going through your head as you sneak it up and inside the near post and up into the upper 90?
Well, I mean, before I had a similar play where I was coming from that angle and tried to pass it, and she got a touch on it and around. So I figured next time let's try and just go up, so that doesn't happen again.
Great. Obviously, you just came back from a really exciting international break. So how does your mindset sort of shift between when you're with the international team and then coming back to W League?
Yeah, I mean, it stays the same. I mean, just go hard, work hard, have fun, play my game, play to my strengths, bring energy, and help my teammates. And, of course, we had a lot of support here, which is kind of different than the environment that was kind of against us when I was with Jamaica. But, yeah, I mean, the mentality and the motivation is the same.
Great.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you guys.
In City, talk about that a little bit and what that felt like, especially as you've had a couple chances and to see one go in and what that was like.
Yeah, a goal's a goal. I always love a good goal, especially here at City Stadium. The fans are amazing. They really support us and show their love when the ball hits the back of the net, so that was an amazing experience.
That's awesome. And then, being a consistent stronghold in the midfield for us, talk about what y'all talked about today and trying to be a support in the attack.
Right, so their press was unique tonight, so we had to make some changes at halftime or a talk at the water break to just make sure that we're recognizing that and kind of like switching the point more and, playing through our midfield and then dropping it back and playing the ball through, making sure we're on sides because they played a huge offside trap today. So just recognizing where we are on the field and playing quickly, 1-2 touch because they came in hard and they weren't afraid to foul, so making sure that we were playing quickly and safe to prepare for Saturday as well, because that's a huge game.
Yeah. We've obviously seen a lot of midfield combinations throughout this season. So how does sort of your game adjust depending on who you're in the midfield with?
Yeah, I think all of our midfield are great players. They kind of play similarly, but the main thing is to just make sure that we're getting our touches together and building through our midfield. We have great players, strong players. They're fun to play with. They make my job easier, honestly. So, yeah, just a huge shout out to them, I guess.
Awesome. Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
2,500 fans. What did you see from the players tonight that you liked, and what's the conversation going into Saturday, and what are we carrying forward?
I think the biggest thing coming into the game was having a 6-day rest was, I think, imperative for the health of the team. It's a tough schedule, back-to-back games, and so for us, having some time off was really important. And then I think the second part of that, if we talk about the game, is like we stay within our principles. We're going to play our style of play. We're not going to detour from anything. I thought the first 20 minutes was a little bit shaky. I didn't think we quite got into the flow. The water break actually helped us, gave us a chance to give us a break to talk and kind of resurface, reground. But no, I mean, I thought that was a really positive day. Obviously, finding the back of the net is always a fun thing. Finding it 8 times is even more fun. Taking that into the weekend, what we talked about with the girls after the game was really kind of building upon the good things, but also recognizing we now need to recover tomorrow, get back in.
The VCU attack shown again, a brace from both Kendall and Kana. Kendall kept pushing throughout the whole 90. Talk about what you saw from them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kendall and Kana are fun to watch, right? I think even the VCU players, again, you get something from having players that are teammates ahead of coming to us. And so, having Kana in the midfield, obviously slightly different look for her, but I think we found that she's super dynamic in the midfield. She creates things. She's able to break out. And then Kendall got a lot of minutes tonight. I thought she was dangerous getting forward, dangerous creating. I think she really wanted to get a bike there. We talked about it at halftime. Maybe not. Maybe scoring off your head's great. Let's do that. So both of them are great this evening. Excited to see what we've got the rest of the season.
First goals of the season for Cam, Hannah, and Sarah. Talk about what you saw from them and the attack as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have Cam back. I think really exciting to have a player go play internationally with their national team. That's always great. And so having her back and kind of the things that we talked about from her is bringing the things out of that environment here. And I talked to her behalf. It'd be great to get a goal and bear one in the back of the net and kind of just, I think, poster stamp the end of your trip. And she did just that. Sarah comes on late, at halftime for us. I think makes a difference when she comes on the field. She's in the midfield. She brings a different, I think, air to her game. So overall, like all the players, I think we had some new players get some bigger minutes tonight. Some new players score some goals. Lots of players with new assists. For us, the overall team is positive.
And then the fourth clean sheet of the season across a couple of different keepers prevented Patuxent from logging a shot tonight. Can you talk about the defensive effort as a whole, and then what you've seen from the keepers over the season a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for goalkeepers is kind of playing almost like a fifth defender, or if we're playing the 3-back, a third defender, or a fourth defender. We want them to be playing with the high line. We want them to be connected. And so I think, where they didn't log a shot, they did. You could hear the communication. You could see how they were connected with the back line. That to me is super important. And I just think building off of that, building off of their ability to communicate, their ability to command things from the back line, and their ability to get in possession, I think is the biggest things. They're great shot stoppers, and we see it all the time in training. It's the same exact thing. We've seen some really big saves throughout the season so far. And so I'm excited to kind of build on that confidence going into the weekend.
Great. So what are how do you approach a game knowing the sort of unique challenges with an opponent, with their record and with their personnel here tonight?
Yeah, we talked before the game, and I said I don't care if the record shows that they could beat us 10-0 or we could beat them 10-0. We're going to approach it the same way every single time we step on the field, and kind of just drilling into them a little bit of like, we actually didn't talk to the team about some of the things that we knew as a staff were going on before the game. It didn't matter to us. It didn't matter. I didn't feel like it's something the girls needed to know. Because we were going to approach it the same way no matter what. So I think that's the biggest thing is approach the game every single opponent every single time. And we also know we're preparing for a really big game on Saturday. So this one is going to help lay the framework for where we're going. And that was the biggest thing is like, let's take the positives from tonight so we can get into the game.
Right. A couple academy players got minutes in the most recent game. So can you talk a little bit about their integration into the team?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously a unique position being coaching for both Richmond United, coaching for Richmond United. We're really trying to build within the community and the Richmond soccer community as a whole, not just specific to Richmond United. All those players, the academy players that played, all played for me. And so for me, like, I think just a proud moment of, I thought they did really well. I thought they came into a tough game, made a difference. You definitely could tell they were nervous when they entered the game. And then I think they settled in and played the style that we typically play with Richmond United. And for me, super positive. I think it just lends to what we're building in the Richmond community. And we've always said with Ivy, like, this isn't a one-season thing. We want to build something that has longevity behind it, a roster that we can continue to build upon, and players that we can invest in for the long term. So for me, getting those players minutes, super positive. And I think we've got some seniors as well that are academy players. You've got Kinley, you've got Sarah, you've got Issa.
all those players, again, playing good minutes for us now and contributing. And so the principles that we're using with Richmond United are carrying into Ivy, and so it should just be a cohesive thing. And we should be able to pick a player and say, here you go. And whether you train with Richmond United or you train with Ivy, it should be continuous. And I think we're seeing that come to fruition.
Great. And then one player I wanted to bring up, just because we're pretty deep into the season, and yet we've seen her every single game, is Kylie Fitzgerald. So could you talk a little bit about her game and sort of what has led to her making that starting appearance in every game of the season?
Kylie is an unsung hero all the time. She's not the type of player that's going to be super flashy and you're going to look and be like, man, she was awesome tonight, unless you really understand the game of soccer. And so for me, Kylie's the type of player that we need on the field all the time. She brings kind of a calm presence to her. I think she brings leadership with her and a very different style of play. And I don't think Kylie knows how good she is either. And so for me, like, it's just exciting to watch her, I think, continue to develop, continue to improve. Her confidence is growing. Her just presence on the field, her presence in the midfield. Obviously, we rested her a little bit tonight, which is intentional. But ultimately, having her on the field is something that, like, is a huge benefit to all of us.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.